All right. I'm going to welcome y'all to our meeting tonight, or on February the 8th. Our regular scheduled commission meeting. Before we get started, I'm going to ask Alan Caton to pray us for us, and I'm going to ask Mr. Williams to lead us in the pledge, please.
Our gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you, Lord, for each and every one of us that they will come out, Lord, and for our great leaders of our county, Lord, as they do the things that they feel like is in the best interest of all the people of our county, Lord. We ask you to be with each and every one of us as we leave here today, Lord, that we go in God's will, and we know that you are our Savior, Lord, and you're the one that we need to look up to each and every day. We ask these prayers in our holy name.
Amen.
Attention, salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'm sorry, Mr. Radio Man. Are you ready to?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm sorry. I forgot about you being back there. I apologize. I've had our radio man's back here doing a live feed tonight. So I need to ask if we're going to approve the agenda. We need deletions or additions. I have one deletion. I want to delete the executive session off of our agenda, please.
Chairman, I have, and we talked about this in the work session, but the discussion of County Road 8 and County Road 802 that I need to bring up tonight, and it will require some action, and it is not under me. So
Okay.
if you will allow me to add that, please.
Yes. County Road 808.
802.
802. We discussed it the other night.
I make a motion, we approve the agenda with the additions.
Second.
Motion is second. Any other discussion or deletion or additions? Having none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right. I'd like to ask for a resolution to approve the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second. Got a motion, Mr. Mills, and a second, Commissioner Kelly. Any further questions? Having none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Motion carries. Come down to elected officials, nothing there. No public comments. Staff reports. Miss Sylvia Singleton, our administrator, and her assistant, Miss Makisha Cleckley, our assistant administrator.
Tonight, I'd like to ask for a resolution to open the nominations for the Chilton County Healthcare Authority.
Make a motion to open the nominations for the Chilton County Healthcare Authority.
Got a
Second.
motion, second. Mr. Mills, Mr. Parnell. Any further questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
The letter from the Healthcare Authority asked for reappointment of Terry Connell for another 2 years, reappointment of Samuel Reed for another 2 years, reappointment of John McKinney for another 2 years, and then a new appointee, Linda Northcutt, to replace Ken Patterson for a 6-year term.
So we have any further nominations so we can get these all approved at one time? Because we are doing nomination.
These don't come under the 3-meeting rule.
No, I'm talking about two more nominations tonight.
Okay.
We'll continue nominations. We don't need a resolution, but we're just going to continue nominations, is what I'm saying. No, I'm not going to
I'm
ask for a vote. We have 2 more meetings. We'll have to take nominations, and then on the 3rd meeting, we will close and vote on this. And if you have any more nominations, feel free to.
Just do a resolution. to open the nomination.
Okay. I need to do a resolution to open nominations. That's
I'll
what-
make that.
No, we just did that.
That's what he did.
That's what we did on the first.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I'm
I was making sure.
I'm
So
sorry.
We don't need to do it again. I'm sorry.
Somewhere else.
All right, let's move forward to the next thing on the agenda.
Next,
okay.
I'd like to ask for a resolution to accept Telecom Audit Group's proposal to audit our telephone bills as they have done in the past.
I move we accept the recommendation to accept Telecom Audit Group's proposal.
Second. Got a motion, Mr. Williams, and a second, Mr. Kelly. Any further discussion? Having none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Motion carries.
Also, I would like to request a resolution to receive bids for the courthouse cabling.
I make a motion to receive the bids for the courthouse cabling.
Got a motion? Need a second?
Second.
Motion, Mr. Mims, second, Mr. Williams. Any further discussion? Having none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Motion carries.
I'd like to request a resolution to award the bid for the courthouse cabling in the amount of $31,550 to, I forgot, it's the group that we had before.
I'll make a motion to award the bid.
Second.
Got a motion, second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Motion carries.
That's all I have.
Thank you, Ms. Sylvia. We come down to our commission reports, and I'll start with myself. Roger and I have been talking about discussing what we discussed in the work session about purchasing a piece of property to possibly build a courthouse here, to remodel this building to make it a courthouse. The building is the town market here in Clanton. Town Mart, which is the location of Mad Dogs. We've been talking to the owner there on several, and I've talked to y'all about it. Roger and I have, Roger, if you want to explain what we've done, and then I'll ask for my resolution, if you would.
What's taken place up to this point is we've had contact with the owner's broker, who has advised us of their willingness to negotiate, purchase that property. The discussions have mainly involved us putting up refundable earnest money with a 90-day due diligence period to look at the building, have the building assessed by some experts, architects, mechanical engineers, those kind of folks, to see if the property is suitable and adaptable for your courthouse. We don't know that. The owner wanted a contract in hand before they'd let us go poking around in their property and have a due diligence period. So essentially, what you need to establish is, if you want to move forward with that, is to give the chairman the authority to execute a purchase agreement. The purchase price has been asked is $2.5 million, so you wouldn't want to exceed that. So you would pass a resolution to authorize the chairman to negotiate on that property with earnest money in a due diligence period of 90 days. And if you don't like it at the end of 90 days, you get your earnest money back and go to something else. That's about as simple as I can make that one.
So that would be the resolution asking, authorize the chairman to negotiate on acquisition of Town Mart Shopping Center not to exceed $2.5 million with all due diligence. Can I get a resolution?
I'll make that resolution.
I'll
Mr. Mims,
second
Mr. Parnell seconded. Any discussion?
Yes, I've got some discussion, but it mostly concerns a different project. As Commissioner Hardy knows, we talked about this, and I talked to the office staff. I'm very much on board with this project. But my concern is with this project is spending another $750,000 at the 200, which many of you heard me talk about in the last few meetings. Our debt is going to exceed our income, I'm afraid, if we don't prioritize what we're spending money on. Our courthouse should be a priority, in my opinion. And spending $750,000 down there, we've already spent $100,000. I know that's going to be the argument, but we're looking at something that I don't see an end to at 200 exit. And that's just my opinion
Yes, sir.
on that.
I respect that, Mr. Williams. Anybody else have any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed?
No, for the reason I just gave.
I'm opposed to buying a new courthouse, nothing with,
To buying a new courthouse?
or
Oh,
moving the courthouse or whatever.
okay. Motion carries. Next item on the list, the exit 200 property I've asked to bring up. Joseph and I went out there to the property. We have, like Mr. Williams said, we have paid $100,000 this property. I spent 3 days in Montgomery, excuse me, 2.5 days in Montgomery with EDDA and several investors that teach us that economic development, in order to move forward to try to create revenue and to develop that exit, you need to own that property grant wise and other things. There's 5 things you need to do. You need to own the property. You need to have sewer. You need to have internet. You need to have a good access. You need to have lighting and easy access for the interstate. We have all of them except for sewer, and we don't own the property. It kind of ties our hand to continue to just drag this out. And I have talked with the administrators about the financing on both this project and the other project that Mr. Williams referred to. And we see that we're not going to bind ourselves up in any way. Is that right, Miss Sylvia, that we talked about? And we studied this for several days. I met with them about our financial situation in the county. The county does not have a lot of debt. People must say, well, why don't you just go take all that and pay the roads? If you spend everything you got paving roads, then what you going to got to replenish? We got to have a way to replenish this. You know what I mean? And so you just keep spending. I've asked our attorney to make sure we do an all due diligence. We've done a soil sample study. We've done a site study. I actually, Commissioner Parnell and I went down there today and walked the property. It is feasible to develop for industry or warehousing or wherever we decide to do down there. There's only one thing missing. We don't own the property. We don't have 2 things. We don't have the water and sewer. Water is there, right there at the corner of the property. The sewer is probably going to be a hurdle that we'll have to fight, but we need to start somewhere. I did learn a hard lesson about this down there that people tried to tell us, and I'll be the first to admit where I was wrong, that you don't buy property for real estate. You buy property to develop workforce development and jobs. And that was a hard lesson for me to swallow, and I'm learning. So I'm trying to move forward and educate myself on economic development. I'm asking to go ahead and buy this property right out, and that's the resolution I'm asking for.
I'll make a resolution to finish purchase on the exit 200 property.
Mr. Mims made a resolution.
I'll make a second on it, Jimmy.
Mr. Joseph Parnell made a second. And open discussion.
What, have we got any kind of guarantee or at least a 90% guarantee of any businesses or anybody wanting to come to that property?
We have had talk about businesses coming there. Nobody's going to give you a guarantee. What I've learned about that, which has been told us before, the only way you can get a guarantee, the reason we can't get a guarantee from an industry is because that messes up our service package for the state. The state will not offer you a service package if you announce or try to work a deal out with a company like anybody that wants to come here.
Let me reword that, Mr. Chairman. Have we got people showing interest?
Yes, sir, we do.
Tremendous.
Yes, sir, we do.
More than one?
More than one.
Are those people showing interest in that piece of property or just Alabama?
Chilton County and that piece of property. There's that piece of property and one more in Chilton County, but that and there's leading the race. Also, just to add to that, if y'all allow me to add to that is that there is several other entities looking at marketing this property for us here in the state of Alabama. There's metal distribution has been looking at, but we have to meet the criteria in order to qualify for that.
Well, with all due respect
Yes, sir.
to the IDA and Commissioner Mims and Parnell, we also have a $1.3 million, I think it is, piece of property out there that the same group advised us to buy. And where has that got us?
Well, I'll tell you where it's got if you allow me to answer that, Mr.
Yes,
Williams.
sir.
Like I said a while ago, you don't buy property for retail. That was a mistake on my part. That's the X I walk around on my back. I'll be the first to admit it. This is not retail. This is commercial for industrial for developing jobs. That's the first thing they said. And I wish I'd have known that at one time, but I do know now. I can tell you, I did pay attention. So the answer to your question is we're not buying that for retail.
Well, it goes back to the point I made the last meeting. Industry doesn't pay that kind of money for a piece of property. Retail will pay that kind of money, $13,000 an acre for a piece of property.
Well, we may be getting 2 for 1 though, down there.
Number one, I've talked to some people in North Alabama. You're not gonna get industry to come if you don't have property. That's just a fact. I know it may sound off the wall and out of sync, whatever you want to call it, to say, hey, we got this piece of property, we'll give it to you to come. That's basically what it boils down to if you want tremendous growth. I'm not saying we have to give them all of it, but you've got to have some kind of incentive, because just in the last year and a half, we had a pretty big business that left Chilton County because another county said, hey, we give you this, and we didn't offer to give them anything. We had a guarantee, that business had a guarantee of around 150 employees with the lowest salaries of 50 to 60,000 a year. That's pretty good pay here in Chilton County at home. And we lost them because we didn't say, hey, we give you half of this, or we give you this or that. They went to another county that gave them the land.
Is that the one that went to Coos County?
No,
Tallapoosa
they was
County?
Tallapoosa.
Well, and we also, to add to that, we lost one before any of us were commissioners, and you may remember this, Mr. Williams, to Autauga County, which is one of the biggest revenue sources
yeah.
that they write a check for. You know why we lost that? We didn't have nothing to offer them. We got to give these people something to offer. They will pass by that 200 exit every day and say, so be it. And that's what I learned from that. That's what I took from a panel of 5 people. Not only did I take the panel of 5 people's word, I've nailed down one of them and said, I need you to look at me and tell me where am I missing this. And so I can know to educate you guys. I'm not trying to sell you on a song and dance. Listen, this is your vote. You got a quarter. Everybody got a third of this vote of, or a tenth of this vote of the commission. But I'm telling you, I want to move Chilton County forward. I know you guys do too. Don't you get me wrong. But in order to do that, you got to either say we're not going to do it, and say don't worry about it, just let everything else grow up around us like we've had for years now, or we got to move forward. And I'll rest right there. Anybody else?
I will just make a comment about what I saw today when we walked that property. Not unlike most of Chilton County, that's rolling hills. And every one of those little valleys are wet, but I didn't see swamp. I did see some running stream. There is the possibility, so y'all don't be blindsided, that it depending on how many acres of the property you develop, there might wind up being some need for some mitigation. So I don't want y'all to think that it's flat upland, but it's typical Chilton County ground with rolling hills, a lot of sand and gravel, great access to the interstate, great visibility, everything you want. But I don't want to mislead y'all into me saying that's all flat and dry, because it's not. But you're not going to find flat and dry in Chilton County. It's just not here.
Now, something Mr. Commissioner Barnett just said, the Terracon stated that in their analysis. But they also, the one thing, if this commission chooses to buy that piece of property, are we going to have an in-depth analysis on it? Because this right here didn't have nearly about enough details on the environmentals on it.
Yeah, we'll have to do that.
It's just the phase
Okay.
one saying if it's viable to use. It is.
Somebody got a phone on?
Yes, I'm sorry, it's not.
Okay.
I turned it off.
Well, and yes, we'll have to do that. And that's part of, I did see something else out there, and it's probably got irrelevant, but I've seen a lot of good scrapes out there too. Just let you know, Randy.
I knew it usually
Grapes
great.
and rubs.
Scrapes.
That's only you walk.
That's in my territory.
But yes, sir. But anyhow, I
So-
just kind
so-
of lighten the load here.
Jimmy, I want to ask,
Yes, sir.
I know I seconded your request here, but in lieu of what was just said from Commissioner Williams, are we voting to buy this contingent on the next phase of the environmentals, or buy it without the next phase of environmentals?
Buy it without, because we're going, with what we discovered down there, there's not going to be a swamp land. We're going to have some mitigation.
Yeah, but the environmentals was not just water. The environmentals was hazard materials that wasn't checked in depth in this report.
I think
No.
that's not right.
No, that's not right.
Well, according to,
There was an oil spill from a tanker on page 65 that they noted in there. They did go beyond that study.
Yeah.
well,
They
there,
didn't note any hazards on the property
well,
itself.
what I've noticed, what I noticed in here that and I didn't print that page. Yeah, I did. No, there's a lady's name on the page. That they made calls to ADM, and he did, to their knowledge, there wasn't any problem there, but he hadn't done an analysis according to ADM. Health department didn't call him back, and nobody with the Urbana Fire Department talked to him.
Right, so
I
what
mean,
you know
that's-
from that, is it was not a major spill because it was never assigned an environmental hazard number and entered into the system. So it's not been put up as a circular sign.
Okay.
If it had been flagged, it would be in the system as a contaminated site.
After what year was in there?
Yeah, it
1968?
was old, it was way long time.
Yeah,
That was 53 years ago.
I was around.
He was around.
Yeah, I was around.
Any
But
further?
in any event, you would have all those
Yeah.
environmentals updated when you do a development plan
Mhm.
that you're submitting for any sort of.
Yeah, that's also what it said.
That's what I'm talking.
Any further discussion? All in favor? I'm sorry, sir. Go
Let
ahead.
me ask one more question to get clarified.
Yes, sir.
I think we've had this discussion, me and you and our administrator. But we are okay with both of these projects if we decide to buy this property for a new courthouse and this property here. We're okay,
This, 200 property we paid for out of industrial development,
right?
and it's already budgeted.
Okay,
And then the other
That's
is out of our general fund, which is, what's left over from our fund balance.
right.
previous year.
That's the way I understood it. I just wanted to clarify that. Thank you, Ms. Silver.
Go ahead, Mr. Williams.
Given the amount we're gonna spend on this and a commitment for the 212 project, should Farmers Federation not come through and do it, where are we gonna be money-wise at that point?
Well, means we don't have a number of the 212 project. That'd be hard to say, even a financial discussion about what it would take to develop that up there. That'd be kind of irrelevant at this point,
Well,
wouldn't it?
we've discussed numbers.
I haven't discussed the numbers with
Oh.
anybody else, with the mayor, or anybody hasn't not discussed numbers with me. Now, we've heard of other people that's building things and they've done it in phases.
Yeah.
There could be some astronomical numbers. I understand what you're saying. But right now, we don't even know where we're at 212. So that'd be kind of hard to say.
Well,
If we're going to put everything on hold for 212, guess where we're going to be at 3 years from now? So that's just my, roundabout answer. So any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed?
No.
Let the record show that Mr. Williams opposed. All right. Next thing on the agenda, I contacted the Republican Services finally for the dumpsters. I actually flagged them down in the middle of the road out there. And it was a very good truck driver that done his due diligence to sell his company and was doing a great job. So as you can see in your package, we got some bids on this courthouse, guys. And I'm going to be honest with you. Without throwing anybody on the bus, I would love to tell you the bill that we got today was astronomical from the company that's going to take over. And I will not call their names and just leave it right there.
We're talking about dumpster service.
Yes, sir, dumpster services. So as you can see, the garbage pickup quotes on page, I think it's 4 or 5, guys, is what we come back with, which are very, very good quotes compared to the bill we got today. So I'm asking for a resolution to allow Republican Services to pick up these dumpsters. We still got to pick one up at
It's not Republican.
Republic.
It's Republic.
Republic, excuse me.
I am a Republican, but
Yes, sir.
not Republican dumpster.
Thank you for your correction. Republic Dumpster Service to pick up the jail, the courthouse, the road department, the EMA, but we'll have to do something different about Higgins Ferry because they don't have a route down there.
I mean, we entered the contract with Public Service for dumpster service for the listed departments.
Second.
Got a motion and Mr. Williams, a second, Mr. Mims. Any other further discussion?
Is if they don't have a service at Higgins Ferry, don't you think we might wanna, this is just my idea, might not want to, wait and see if you can get somebody that'll service them all? Or
Well,
you
they-
think, is there a dumpster already down there?
Yeah, but we got they don't have a route down there.
It's so far off anybody's.
Now,
route, just I don't know why
Commissioner
nobody's gonna
Headley,
run.
I mentioned to them too about y'all's problem here locally, and they want to address that too, by the way, with our businesses here. Go ahead.
I have tried to contact any business that I could find that did local dumpster service. Waste Management is the only one that goes all the way to Higgins Ferry. That is in Republic's service area, but they don't have anybody else and they don't run a route down there. It may change in the future if other businesses down that way, Love's, there's a Dollar General, I think there's another gas station down through there. If some of those swap at some point, it may.
So it could
But I have
expand.
It
Yeah.
could in the future, but I have tried to contact anybody and everybody, and that's the only place, Waste Management is the only place that goes all the way to the river.
No, I'm good.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None opposed. Motion carries. Also, I ask for a resolution to approve the proposal to pay 50% to fix the end of Holiday Inn Road we discussed in our work session.
I move we approve the paying of 50% fix Holiday Inn Road.
Motion
Second.
by Mr. Williams, second by Mr. Kelly. Any discussion? Having none, all in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. That's all I have. Commissioner Kelly, do you have anything?
No, sir.
Commissioner Bone is absent, I'm sorry. Commissioner Headley,
No, sir.
Commissioner Mims.
Yes, sir. I need a resolution to approve the Country Meadows Estate plat. It's I guess it's Alan Payton, technically his estate that they're developing. He needs to make 5 lots into 10. What happened, just as a summary for you guys, I think Jemison started offering sewer out there, so they no longer had to have a specific size lot to suffice for septic tank. So he was able to change 5 into 10 and get more rooftops in our county. So I'd just like to amend the plat. Tony's good with it. He's the one that told me to.
Make a
Handle it.
motion. Got a motion in a second?
Second.
Got a motion second. Any further discussion? Just to add, I did talk to Matt and to Tony about this, and everything's good. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Motion carries. Commissioner Parnell.
All right, we discussed this in our work session the other night, and I'm gonna try to explain it as best that I can, but Mr. Busby has bought some property out off of County Road 607, and he's having some issues specifically when he orders something for delivery. The bridge has been out for I don't know how many years, quite a number of years, back as far as just about anybody can remember. But the road is coming in on County Road 8 and the bridge is out. And Mr. Busby wants to rename the other side of that bridge 802 so that it'll have a new address. I talked to Matt today about it. Matt said that Tony had been involved with it. They didn't have an issue with it, but normally the renaming of roads was, unless we assigned and named a road after someone, but the road numbering was generally done by 911.
That's what I was thinking too.
I don't know how y'all want to handle that, but Mr. Busby's kind of in a position where he needs to get all of the constraints out of the way where this could move forward. And I don't know if you would think and this might be a Roger question, do we need a resolution contingent on the need of that? Because everyone is okay with it. It just hasn't been done.
I can
Can we
offer,
ask 911?
I can
to do
offer
that?
this. Can we just table this? I should have talked to you about this. Let me talk with Tara about it. If they don't have a problem with it, they'll be the one that has to change it. We can't change it. We can change it.
That was what my understanding.
So if we can just table this, Mr. Busby, tonight, and let me do my due diligence, and I'll get with Tara and send her.
I'll send you his phone number.
Yes, do
and
that.
let you follow it with him.
Yes, do that if you will.
But the other thing that may be an issue, and some of y'all may have some advice on this, but we're going to have to figure out how to let Google know that bridge is closed. because Google
That's
doesn't
probably
know.
gonna be the harder issue than getting Tara to help us.
Yeah,
So,
but that's his main issue now, is Google Maps is doing the routing
I know.
for UPS or FedEx.
Well, that might be a fight for
whatever.
Mr. Bugsby. I don't know. So, yeah, if I can get the other done, we might have to let Mr. Bugsby handle that one. But
How
anyhow,
long is this section?
It's very short.
Well, I'm just thinking out loud.
It's
If we
south
normally
of
rename
Yellow-
something and we don't rename it a number for the sake of 911, man, I don't care. Name it Busby
Busby
Drive.
Road.
Well,
Yeah,
you-
Busby Road,
but you
Busby Drive. I don't
but you
care.
still have to
Put
have
you
it
on the
approved.
spot, but you know,
No matter what you name it, you still have to have it approved.
agree. But I'm
Yeah.
just saying, if they don't want to put another number on it,
Yeah.
that would be
Well,
fine.
let's do that and let's
Okay.
table it. If 911 needs a resolution, we can do it at our next.
Send me information and I'll get that. We'll work on that, Sheriff and I.
The bridge is on County Road 8. And it's 8 on one side, 607 is on the other side, but there's a portion of it that's still County Road 8. And Mr. Busby wanted that portion named 802, and I think Tony was the one that suggested that. And some of the maps are showing it at 802, but it hasn't officially been changed.
Okay, well, let's work on that. I mean, we'll work on that. We'll have a decision, maybe not by next week, but we'll work on it. That's right, Shelby.
I think
Okay.
I'd let Tiffany work on the Google part.
Well, I was gonna say the water, Mineral Springs, the bottling company, you know, they had that rerouted through Google. They had the location rerouted.
Okay.
Might reach out to that.
She may have information on how
She
she
may
did it.
know how to
Yeah.
do
See if
that.
you can do that, Tiffany, because regardless of who's out there, if we've got a road that's closed and Google doesn't know it, I mean, if you had to dispatch an ambulance, they're gonna come in there with a Google map and they're gonna wind up on the other side of the bridge from whoever's out there.
Okay. Any further discussion? We're gonna table that. Anything else, Mr.
No,
Barnett.
sir, thank you.
Commissioner Williams?
Yes, at Commissioner Kelly's request, I think I want to hold the tag office restroom. We
Yes, sir.
talk about that a little bit more.
Yes,
Can we discuss that a little bit? Can we go ahead and discuss
Yeah,
that a little
we can
bit?
discuss
it.
I got
That's
some
fine.
questions and ideas.
we got some questions, but let's do this. Let's ask for a resolution pending discussion. Is that right, Mr. Roger? Can we openly discuss that without, can we just, I'm gonna go to our attorney on that.
No, I think.
Put it in the next work session.
No action. Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Have you looked, Alan, my question is, have you looked and see where we would put a
Oh, yeah.
restroom?
Yeah.
We have got
Oh,
room.
yeah, we've got room.
He's
I-
got a plan.
uh, with Gene Foshee and looked at it, laid it out, taped it with Tony, and put a tape measure to it. I thought it was in here. The sketch. No, the sketch is not in here.
It should be in your package.
Have you got any price?
Email. Yeah.
Yeah, we got a price.
Like if I look, we might find it.
It's in your email. It's not in there.
Oh, I didn't get an email on it.
Yeah. You got an email on the whole work
Oh, I thought-
session.
I thought it was in
Oh,
here.
yeah,
Yes,
okay,
it's in that.
okay,
It's
All
in
right.
that.
okay. Well, that's
Yeah,
all I
but-
wanted to ask is if we
It'd
got
be in
room
that
to put
corner.
it and
Be in that little nook corner where the drop box is, and there's
then,
plenty of room.
then the price.
It's
49,
47.
49,000.
I figured 50,000.
Yeah, it's got to be disabled compliant.
Right.
So there's enough room there for that.
But I still say we need to discuss that some more.
Okay.
Can
Okay.
I make
Yeah.
a suggestion? So if we're gonna do this due diligence on this other build, why don't we, in the meantime, do something about getting a disabled, accessible porta toilet put in over there somewhere in one of those parking spaces or something? Where if somebody were waiting in line and they had to go, they would have a place to go.
I just don't want to. I can't envision that.
I hear you, but
I just
never
can't
seen
envision
one.
that.
if we're talking about building a new courthouse, does it make sense
Yes.
to keep spending?
I
And we
understand.
just voted to put cabling in here for 31,000. And, you know, we don't know how long it takes to buy. We don't know how long it takes to renovate and all those things. But the reason we're leaving here is because we're spending several $100,000 a year to maintain it. And does it make sense to spend $40,000 or $50,000 on the restroom that we might walk away from in less than 2 years.
Well, that was part of the discussion, is how much value to the commission is he gonna add to that building if we sell the building?
Well, that ain't the courthouse over there, so I'm sure they'll do something else over there.
Yeah, but does the county own that building?
Yes.
Yeah.
We own it.
Well.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be ours to either lease or sell.
You could actually look at it as an investment to the building, to be honest with you.
That's what I
Well,
was
that's-
saying.
that's
you
what
know,
I
see
thought.
what-
Right?
See what kind of asset
Look at it
it's
as an
gonna be.
investment to the building for future sale. I mean, I guess you could look at it either way. There's,
Yeah. That's what I'm looking at it as, not just a service to some of
Right.
our people
I could
who
buy
need it,
Yeah.
the use of it.
let's kick this, let's discuss this some more. Have you talked to Miss Sylvia about the funding for this?
No, I needed to ask her.
I want you to
I
do that.
apologize.
I want you to do
Miss
that and bring
Sylvia.
that back to us.
I
How about
will.
that?
I'll
Okay.
do that.
All right. That'll work. What else you got, Mr. Williams?
And you may have told me this if I asked you the other day, Miss Sylvia, the fund that we could take this laptop money out of. Did I even ask you that?
I don't recall discussing what it meant.
Okay. Do we have a fund we could take this 684 and change out of?
I could certainly look and see what.
Okay.
I mean,
Well, I'd like to present a resolution to the commission that we purchase a laptop for the disabled veterans office. Seems like she's using one that's 20 years old.
Got a motion. Mr. Williams got a second. Commissioner Haley. Any further discussion? Having none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? None.
This is something, and I was hoping Derek was here tonight. Sheriff, I had a lady send me a text about weather radios, and I don't use a weather radio, but she said our channel is down, it's going to be down, and that they have switched us to channel 7. I just want to make that announcement so people would know if they can't get their weather radio to work, it's because channel 4 is, no, I'm sorry. Channel 7 is down. Channel 4 is the channel to use for your weather radio. So if you trying to get a weather radio and it ain't happening, that's why. They said, well, the National Weather Service said they're not sure how long it's going to be down. And the other thing is, a guy asked me today, who owns County Road 81? City of Jemison or us?
81?
I think it's 81. It
I
goes
thought
by
80 no.
Jemison Elementary.
81 don't, that's 44. That's not
44?
81.
Yeah, that's what I called it. Okay, what I told him. He said Sonny Jefferson told him it was ours.
You got anything else, Mr. Williams?
That's it. I
You
move
sure?
we adjourn.
You sure you don't have anything else?
Second.
Mr. Williams, are you sure you don't have anything else?
He's already two past his limit now.
No, he ain't. Are you sure you don't have anything else?
Well, I don't have a note.
Do you want me to bring you, remind you
Go
about?
right at, oh,
Mr.
Oh,
Williams,
yeah.
do you have anything else?
yes, I owe Commissioner. You gonna push that out of me? wasn't
Well, you told me to push.
Yeah,
so I
'cause I
was
told you.
pushing. I finna start pulling.
At our last meeting, I called our chairman down and I was in error. So I apologize to him, Commissioner Hardy, tonight because I was out of line and out of order.
Thank you, Mr.
Now,
Williams.
you want to call me out of order?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. Mr. Williams, move to adjourn. Can we get a second? All in favor? Oh, I'm sorry. You second? Randall seconded. All in favor, say aye. Y'all have a great evening. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Williams.
I had a